Okay, you know, in researching our guest today, I literally I forgot just how many hits this man had. Like, as I was researching and getting prepared for this interview, I'm coming after hit after hit after hit after hit. And I was like, this was one of those allow me to reintroduce myself moments, just preparing for a singer, songwriter, one of the biggest artists of the 90s and early 2000s. My man, please welcome to Vlad TV, Mr. Montell Jordan.
What's up?
Montell,
what's up?
what up?
Prez, what's up, family? How are you, man?
I'm good. Montell, like we was talking offline. I'm like, yo, my brother, you ain't Asian. What's going on here?
I'm doing the Black Benjamin Buttons, bro. I'm trying to take it backwards a couple of years.
You doing it well, kid. You definitely doing it well. Montell, let's take this thing back because it's so much to talk about musically, but more important as a man, I want to get into your story because you had this amazing arc, and you went from this enormous public figure, doing the celebrity thing, and now looking at your shirt, it says saved, looking at the chain, and there is the cross. You have segued into another part of life where you're giving it all up to God. So, and that's obviously more meaningful work. Before we get there, let's take it from the beginning. South Central Los Angeles. What was it like growing up in Los Angeles in the 80s?
Well, let me start by saying that's what you started with in kind of laying out a foundation of where I've been and where I'm at now. If you want to know how something ends, you got to look at the beginning, right? So I think it's cool to be able to go back to South Central LA, quick glimpses of what that was for me. We grew up, when there was a middle class. When a middle class existed, South Central LA, we were really poor, but didn't know it. You know what I mean? We would, on occasion, have to go up the block and get the government cheese, the big cardboard block, and cut it ourselves. A lot of people are not familiar with that, but we had that. I'm growing up in South Central. The sounds of helicopters, Boyz N The Hood, John Singleton did a great job at capturing what my life was like growing up in South Central. I never went more than a block over from my house on 4th Avenue in Slauson, and I never went past 3 blocks behind my house, which was Van Ness Park. So literally where I lived at, it was almost like I won't call it confinement, but you just kind of knew somehow lines were drawn throughout South Central LA. The best way to explain it is how New York goes up, LA goes out. And people live in certain neighborhoods or communities and they never actually leave to go other places. As a kid, I never went to Beverly Hills. I never went to Santa Monica. There are people in the hood that never been to the beach before because they know their blocks and they know their space. I can remember my family watching The Cosby Show and watching A Different World, sitting on the living room floor. We didn't sit on the couch because every night we would see on the news that there was another drive-by shooting. And so we were afraid that if we sat up on the couch, you could get shot in your own house. So we all sat on the floor. But to us, it was family time, sitting together, watching the Cosby or watching the TV, together as a family. So my childhood was with a mom and a dad in the house. Crips and Bloods, very, very prevalent in my neighborhood. I lived more in a Crip type of neighborhood. And because I was supposed to go to Crenshaw or to Dorsey High School, my parents were very concerned about me having to deal with the element of gang violence in LA. And so I went to Sarah High School in Gardena at the time, which was an all guys Catholic school. And so that's kind of my upbringing. I was brought up, Prez, in church. Like every time the church doors were open, I was there. Like I'm telling you, Monday they had, a financial meeting, I was there. And Tuesday they had a teachers meeting and I was there. And Wednesday they had a Bible study, I was there. Thursday, senior choir rehearsal, I was there. Friday night, you know what I'm saying, the adult choir rehearsal, I was there. Saturday morning, youth and young adult choir rehearsal. And then Sunday morning, I was there for Sunday school, men's meeting, the regular service that could take 3 or 4 hours, then an afternoon BTU Bible training session, and then a night service. Like, I literally probably lived at my church more than I did my own house because of how we were brought up. And so maybe that's just a glimpse of, for me, church was like a family reunion, you know what I'm saying? Because my uncles, my aunties, my godparents, my brothers, like my entire family was that church on 51st and Hoover, you know? And I think something really cool was because we knew that neighborhood outside of my house, because the church was kind of a staple in that community. We could walk up and down the blocks, you know, of, 51st and Hoover, like fearlessly, because even though the OGs that were in that neighborhood were on high alert, their grandmamas and their mamas went to the church where I was playing the piano at. And so we kind of got a hood pass to be able to go and be where we needed to be, go up to the stores and everything, because they knew, oh, those guys are cool because, you know what I'm saying, that's grandmama and them, musician.
Wow, such a vivid depiction of your upbringing. Something just stood out to me. Y'all literally are in the house having family time, watching TV, and your mother and father actually had y'all sit on the floor in the living room for fear that bullets would fly through the windows?
Oh yeah, mom and dad was sitting on the floor with us. Like, nobody sat on the couch. We all sitting on the floor in front of the TV because we were lower, lower to the ground. And, but that was the messaging, that was happening. The news is tonight, another drive-by shooting over in such and such and such. Hey, over in Lamert Park, another drive-by shoot. And because that's what was inundated. And, I think what was crazy, John Singleton, man, God rest his soul, is my fraternity brother as well. He was so elaborate in that movie Boyz N The Hood, bro, like down to the sounds of helicopters flying around on a regular. If you go back and listen to the movie, like they deliberately put that in the movie because that's what you would hear. As I lived in my house, whether it was day or night, you could always hear the sound of helicopters flying above. It's just super, super wild. And so, yeah, people would think you were sitting on the floor because of a drive-by shooting, but I'm here with my family sitting together on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
So John Singleton, he really got that right. Just those little nuances of being at home and hearing them helicopters.
Super, super clear, bro. Super clear. All the different nuances, the way we talk, certain, neighborhood lingo. When you from New York, there's certain ways that of somebody from New York because the way you holler at each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like LA, you know what I'm saying? We have that. It's almost like its own world within a world. And, because we embraced it, although it wasn't ours, it was ours, to be able to, to navigate and move through. Like I said, nobody there really owned the property. We didn't really own the land or nothing like that. But, we did, it was home for us. And so because of that, the neighborhoods and the universal parenting system of the neighbors could get that tail, you know what I'm saying? They could spank you and then go tell your mom I had to spank him because of this or that.
Yep.
Like, it was the village. It was our village.